Hello there. Thanks for watching News Echoes on Nigerian Affairs. My name is Shegun Johnson. We want to look at the issues affecting Nigeria right now. And in the studio with me, all the way from Toronto, Canada, is Sir George. Sir George, you're welcome to the program.
From around
it
the
has
world.
to take time to get to Canada. So, okay, yes. So you're here now.
I will welcome you today for our today's show. It's going to be a fantastic one.
Thank you, sir. And in faraway Milan is Mark. Mark, you're welcome to the program. Yeah, I'm finding it difficult to hear your audio. Is that something we can improve on?
Yes. Good morning.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes. You're
Yes,
sounding better now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Good morning, Sir George.
Good morning.
Well done. Yes, good to have you guys again. Thank you.
Yeah, we have this challenge in Nigeria. The president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is being laid out bare in the United States of America. Since the report of the result of the election has been out, it's been one challenge after the other. It's gone to the Nigerian Presidential Tribunal and they upheld his presidency. But one of the contestants, Abubakar Atiku, has taken the matter to the court in Illinois, asking that the report of the certificate of Ashiwaju be presented to him. He wants to make sure that the right person has applied to be the president of Nigeria. The court granted him that request, but President Tinubu went ahead and appealed that it will do an irreparable damage to him if that certificate is released. And Atiku went on to contest it that he would need it just to know whether it's the same person or there is identity theft in this situation. And the matter is to come up on Thursday. That is tomorrow. We will know whether the appellate court is going to uphold the old judgment or not. But the real issue is to know whether the Bola Tinubu that was given admission into Chicago State University was a male or a female. At the moment, we are told she was a female. But Tinubu will have to tell us the correct situation, and the Chicago State University will have to tell us. Sir George is becoming washing the dirty linings of one's family in the public, but the truth is better than dishonesty, or what do you think?
Well, to be very frank with you, there is the problem we have with this whole entire issue to be begging the court, not to release the information that is going to do irreparable damages. What are the irreparable damages? Because that's the question everybody needs to know. Number one, is that his real name? Because this thing has been in question even during his gubernatorial election. So the thing is, there are some recent information coming out recently about that his real name was not really Bola Asiwaju, Bola Tinubu, that he changed it, that he spent about 5 years in prison, in America, and finally was deported, and then he came back again. So we don't know whether all these allegations are true or not. But you see, where there is no smoke without fire. And that's one of the major problems we're having today, is that something is definitely wrong. If you are a straight-A student, you will be proud to let the world see your academic record. But in this particular case here, all we are seeing is spending thousands upon thousands of dollars to block this university from releasing the information. So there is definitely something to hide. And that is not looking good on Nigerians. To be very frank with you, honestly speaking, the world is watching. And every single day, this thing goes deeper. Our integrity internationally is going down lower and lower and lower. And let me tell you something. This is part of the reason why I believe that the president of the United States of America did not want to. Biden didn't want to talk with him because he must have been warned about the impending, legalities and all the damages that he could do to his person if he openly come and sit down with this man and start discussing. So, and this is not only on President Ahmed Tinubu, it's on all Nigerians around the world. So
Yeah.
something needs to be done, honestly. Something, and it needs to be done. And when he talks about this Olajide Adeniji and then Durajaye or Agunsaya, who came out,
Yes, who are purporting to be classmates of his.
yeah, purporting to be, they are paid. Even when this man was being interviewed in some of the stations in Nigeria, you could tell that he was lying. Maybe he knew him, but as to say that he is the one that he went to school with, there is no evidence to support that.
It's interesting you bring that up, Judge, because I was thinking if I wanted to apply for, say, a position as a medical doctor in your hospital, and then I brought two of my classmates, please certify to Sir George that I was in the medical school. Will that not be ridiculous? Will it not be my certificate you want to see? Who are these people coming to certify me?
And then you are asking the school not to release the information. Why are you asking them just, okay, release only the, just the certificate, don't release any other information? That means you have something to hide.
Yes, I think people are saying that he has this thing to hide because it will show that
it was a female.
The secondary school he went, it will show his gender. The secondary school may be Our Lady Girls of Apostle. And so it will be, how come you went to a girls' school alone? When so just in case the female Bola Tinubu went to a girls' school only, and he will be the only boy in that class. So that's the challenge. And people are saying this thing openly. Mark, for the first time, can the largest black nation in Nigeria show the world that we want to work in honesty? Is it possible, or we just want to use this mud to wrap up over 200 million people? Is this not the reason why Western world will say, please resign for the sake of the remaining population?
That's it, Dr. Shagun. Mia talking about this, Sir George talking about this is funny, it's ridiculous. It looks like some comedies stage show are very, very, very interesting. Yes, Nigerian President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is reluctant to allow the federal judge in the United States to give his university certificate to his political opponent. Take note that it is PDP Atiku Abubakar that is doing this heavy fight. Yes, the judge, I think her name is Nancy Maldonado, has blocked all the other details. And she said the admission records and especially the gender will be disclosed. I think that was the announcement we got as at Monday. So, you said it all. On Thursday, we'll be hearing that final judgment. The case was brought by Atiku. And interestingly, we are seeing these very funny things there, like you just said, Dr. Shagun. I mean, it's a woman that was Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And how come it's a man that we're seeing? So where did that change happen along the line? And we also saw that these were part of what was those conditions that should have not made Ahmed Tinubu eligible for running. But he went ahead to run, and now all of this is spilling to our face. So somehow also, Dr. Shagun, I want to say I think now the Americans are cooperating with Nigeria. We used to say there is this interest game playing out. There was interest game playing out, but with what we're seeing now, there is full cooperation. And like George said, Tinubu was in America. Biden didn't want to have much formal meeting with him because um, his status is still to be verified. So I think they are realizing that our Nigeria as a people, as a country, we need to get things settled before this international relationship with our presidency.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I use the opportunity to welcome BD back from Business Summit Affairs. You're welcome to the program. BD, are you with us?
I can hear you.
I think.
Okay. While we're waiting for her to, get.
Yes, please go on.
Okay, look at this. Okay, we understand now that Tinubu is also appealing to Atiku to drop the charges and not to go further. So this is happening all open in everywhere. Look at this. Okay, the House Speaker Anthony Rota is stepping down from his position after facing increasing growing calls to resign for honoring the House of Commons, a man who was a member of Nazi SS unit during the Second World War. From Sunday, pressure was put on this man to resign. He resigned yesterday. He put in his resignation letter. This is what we're talking about here.
Integrity, isn't it?
Integrity. Here is this man. Everything about since he took office has been lies upon lies. I mean, stacks and stacks of lies. What is it? Are we not ashamed as Nigerians? Come on. What are we doing internationally? It is soiling. This is like one bad apple. They're saying that one bad apple is spoiling the rest. Isn't that kind of? I mean, it is said
that the fish is rotten from the head. So if the head is so rotten, how can you ask people not to forge certificates in Nigeria? I mean, it will just be, look, I forged the certificate, so what? And it appears that it's a long time people have been forging their certificates. It appears that this has been a very serious thing that has infected the society.
We had the young girl, the secondary school girl, forge her SS result. Remember Hawaii?
Jam result.
Jam result. And they went after her like she was...
people now say that Nigeria should go and apologize to that girl.
Of course.
Sir George, I have other pertinent question to ask you still on this matter. Atiku Abubakar is known for his resilience if he wants to fight. He doesn't give up midway. He was the vice president for 2 terms under Obasanjo. When Obasanjo decided to go on a 3rd term, something against the Nigerian constitution, but Atiku was against him to the very end, knowing the capability and the jugability, if there's a word like that in English, of Obasanjo. Atiku stood his ground, and Obasanjo had to back down and said, "Oh, I never even tried." But he never forgave Atiku for that. Do you think, with all the northern elders sent to Atiku, do you think that Atiku will back out at this time, or or his resilience to bring it out will see us through?
You see, let me tell you what they're going to be saying to Atiku. Atiku, even if you win this case and expose Tinubu for the fraud that he is, you cannot still be the president of Nigeria. The reason being that we have a rotational presidency. And because we have a rotational presidency, it is due for the South to take their 8 years now. So it will be another saga if Tinubu steps down today. So that's exactly what the problem we have.
Yeah, but are you scared that Tinubu may negotiate with Atiku and say, "What do you want?" Because that's what we are getting on the internet now.
That's
What do
exactly
you
right.
go and negotiate with Atiku? Whatever he wants, I will give him.
Well, you see, when he started with, you don't have to wait. All you need to do is to grab it and keep running. And he's been running ever since he grabbed it. So the problem is that we're chasing him right now, because for you to grab it and run with it, that means it doesn't belong to you. And you know that it's not yours. So when you're running with it and you're being chased as a thief, that is the major problem. Now, he's negotiated himself all through the tribunals, everything. So he stays, he goes under, he works, because that's his style. And I believe this is exactly the way he wanted himself into his education. Because that thing that happened, there is really, really something underlying, mess, insidious mess that is going on with all this entire thing. So, and that's exactly the problem. My major issue is really this: the image of Nigerians internationally.
Yeah.
sad.
Mark, you wanted to say something?
Yes, I wanted to say something about this Atiku issue. Atiku is not much of a resilient fighter in the past, but it changed this lately. It changed also because of the obedient movement. The obedient movement brought in a very hyper resiliency into politics. So Atiku tapped into that. That's how we studied it from here. He tapped into that obedient LP movement, how these young men were all going out all the way. So he tapped into that and he's running with this. Then now let's take note also, is a thing, is like an Atiku thing. It's not really PDP in this case, because in fact we didn't see any other name as the petitioner in this whole thing. It's just Atiku, Abubakar Atiku.
Yeah, the U.S. court will not recognize PDP anyway because of the political party. So he's a man. Yeah. He has something at stake. The judge was very clear.
Interestingly, also, Dr. Shagun, the people still backing him in all of this are still the obedient LP people, the movement. In fact, we've not seen much of the PDP people come out. We've not seen all those PDP people, Dino and all this rest of PDP stalwarts. It's still people, obedient LP young men and women that are just pushing.
The Nigerian politics has never known the importance of opposition within the governmental institution. All the parliamentarians in the House of Commons in the United Kingdom, they are part of the government, whether you are Labour or Conservative. But the Labour that is in the opposition keeps the government on its toes. They are all government. Nigerian elected ones still don't see themselves as they are constituting a good alternative to the system. They've not seen themselves that way. That is why you don't know that we have an opposition party. Opposition party only comes during elections, whereas opposition party is part of the government. If you are elected, if you are a member of the National Assembly from another party, you are supposed to be contributing.
You know the reason.
Yes,
there are no fundamental difference between the two parties. When you come to the North America or Europe, when you see opposition, their political ideology is quite different.
That's right.
Some go from top to bottom. Most conservatives will go from top to bottom. Most liberals will go from bottom up because they care about the masses. And the conservatives usually will go for the rich. They want the rich to remain richer. So, and that's exactly the difference.
And they have an argument that the rich know how to make money for the rest of the community.
But
so let's give the rich all the accolades and all the peripherals because they will make more money. That's their argument. I don't buy it anyway.
Well, because
I really want the crowd to know that it's because of this new awakening in Nigeria that we see Atiku doing this. Because if it were before, Atiku would have just gone back to his Dubai, life continues, you know,
he doesn't lack money anyway.
He doesn't lack money anyway, but that he's hell-bent on seeing this thing shows that there is a new dawn in Nigeria. It shows that, and I think he's the only one that can do this. So somehow nature is playing out for Nigeria in a way that is interesting. He's the only one that can actually go this length with this whole issue. You know, so
also didn't forget that Atiku should have been the presidential candidate of APC in 2014 when Tinubu called Amechi and said Atiku is about to win this one. The only thing that could change the mind of the delegates if we flood the place with dollars. And Amechi went to the vault of Rivers State, flooded the place with dollars, and Buhari won that election. The last minute, it was Tinubu that read the situation, provided the answer. Amechi brought the money out, thinking that it will be his turn one day. But unfortunately, that same Amechi has been pushed behind the scene right now. And I think he's a student somewhere in the Nigerian law school somewhere, languishing. But that's not the most important thing is that. So Atiku could now see a payback, say, yes, you're going to suffer for this. You have done me a few times. Now let me. I mean, it's just a possibility why Atiku is hell-bent. But bottom line is that, like Sir George said, all of us, whether we are APC, PDP, or no party at all, we are being smelled with your president is a liar, is a thief, is fraudulent. We need a cleansing. We need a cleansing. Can somebody tell them in Nigeria we need a cleansing? We are stinking.
BD will help us tell them.
Of the nation. Look at America. When
I said, BD will help us tell them in Nigeria.
BD, you are welcome to the program. The connectivity has been messing things up. But honestly, is it possible we still have integrity as a nation in Nigeria? That's the issue this morning. Can we go with our head high in international communities and say we are a nation of integrity and not fraudulent? And not every one of us have got our certificate from Oluwole place. Bidi, how are you doing in Nigeria?
I'm doing well, Dr. Shegu. Sir George, massive man, good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for being here again. I'm doing well. Nigerians, the integrity in Nigeria, the thing is that, let me be frank with you, Nigerians have given up hope. Nigerians are no longer interested in what happens in the corridor of governments, because the last hope of Nigeria was the last election. After the election, they hoped heavily on the judiciary, and the judiciary dashed their hope. And not only dashing their hope, you have seen the way the ruling party has been going about it, silencing the Nigerian people. You can see what the LSC is doing. Before, when I was in school, LSC used to be the body I treasure, I respect so much, because they will always stand against the government. But this time around, they keep giving Nigerian government time, ultimatum, 2 days, 3 days. What's the meaning of that? What's the meaning of that? You know what they do? They give Nigerian government, we are going, in the next 21 days, we are going to go on strike. They will come and appease them with money, and they stay back. They now say, in the next 7 days, we are going to go on the streets. You know what they are doing? That they are calling for more money, and the government of APC keep giving them more money to silence them. So an average Nigerian who reside in Nigeria, I'm telling you, Dr. Shegu, massive man, Sir George, they are tired. I'm telling you, what every Nigerian is doing now is trying to, you want to ask us.
But Bidi, from where we are standing, fraud is like going to the toilet and bringing the poo-poo to smite the people. It stinks. Nobody wants to run to stay with fraud. I mean, you want to distinct yourself. Does the Nigerian society not care about being fraudulent again?
How can they care about being fraudulent when the judiciary, do you know the meaning of judiciary in a country? The highest body of law have legalized the fraud. What do you expect an ordinary Nigerian to do?
Yeah.
That's exactly you know what she just said now. I rest my case. That's it. But that's it. No, seriously.
Well, that takes us to Governor Sanwo-Olu. He was reinforced as the.
Can I give you Can I give a
Yeah,
scenario of
go
what
on.
is happening in Nigeria now? Look at what is
Yeah,
happening in Nigeria. The Mohbad story. The Mohbad
yeah,
story has been for some weeks now, like 3 weeks now. Have they made any tangible arrests? They've not. You know why?
yeah. Is
Because
the
the
result
Naira
of the
Marley,
autopsy
the
out
Sam Larry,
now?
all of them, yeah, the Naira Marley, the Sam Larry, all of them are linked to presidency. They work for President Bola Tinubu. So
Yeah,
I was telling people
is
in
the
my
autopsy
platform that I
report
said,
out? We
is
want
it
to
this
know.
autopsy
Mm.
It will be out by Friday.
is not out? And
Yes, this
now let me tell you people here, what are you expecting in that autopsy? It's going to be negative. Nothing is going to come out of it. I'm telling you, quote me here. Nothing is going to. They just you know what they did. What Nigerian government did to tense down the tension in the country, because they saw that Nigerian youth are not happy. That was why they went to exhume his body and they did the autopsy. It's certainly going to come out negative. I'm saying it here on a
No, the
national,
autopsy
on
report
global television.
will tell us
Nothing is going
how
to come out of it.
what killed him. Is it the injection? Is it the something? That's what the autopsy report will do.
It will
It is
not
what
tell you,
it has
Dr.
been.
Shegu.
Dr. Shegun, the
Yes.
autopsy result is supposed to, but she's telling you that it's not going to.
Oh, okay.
Do you understand? He's
Mhm.
saying the autopsy result is supposed to tell you exactly what killed the young man,
Yes.
but it is not going to. Why
Okay.
is that?
And they are two
Because of
different.
the
And they are two
link.
different things.
Yes, exactly. By the way, Yetunde Merriman Johnson just say good morning, guys. Good job, and God bless you all as you labor for the nation to get it right. So, Madam, we say thank
Madam,
you.
thank you very much, all the way from Lagos, Nigeria. Bidi, still on you, as Governor Sanwo-Olu has been accepted as the Lagos State Governor again by the tribunal, and but one thing is standing out: his certificate, WAEC certificate, was alleged to be forged. The tribunal said, we are not interested in his forged certificate. You can be a governor without a WAEC certificate. But the LP and PDP said it is wrong for someone who has presented a forged certificate to be the governor according to our law. So BD, we close our eyes to that again.
Now, let me tell you, see, Dr. Shegu, I said something here. I said the problem we have in Nigeria is that the judiciary of Nigeria, Federal Republic of Nigeria, have legalized crime and fraud in Nigeria. Now, you see what the judiciary said, that an outsider who is not aspirant don't have rights to fight Sanwo-Olu. That is what is in amended electoral system of this 2022, Abi. That
Right.
if you're not aspirant, you don't have rights to question the certificate or the legitimacy of another aspirant. They now want that to say it's only the party member have the right to question it. Now, you and I know that nobody in APC that will come and question Sanwo-Olu legitimacy except the person wants to die. So you know what the judiciary has done is to legalize crime, legalize forgery. So what do you expect me to say?
Yeah, but
The
in same times,
problem we
Sir
have in
George,
Nigeria now is the judiciary.
Sir George,
They
quickly
have
help me
destroyed.
out. In St. Climes, if a governor should misbehave, I think every citizen has a right to challenge him, not just members of his party, because these activities and actions will be affecting everybody anyway.
On a good day, but we don't have any good days in Nigeria. I'm so sorry. It's very sad, because we are seeing clearly what is really happening with the whole institutions, the three arms of the government in Nigeria. It is all under that serious corruption. Everybody's glaringly looking at the whole entire thing, and we're seeing it clearly. And it's a message that is being sent. But the difference now is that in the past, it could stay within the Nigerian to be confined within the Nigerian territory. But all of a sudden, they have forgotten that there are so many interested people around the world today watching what is going on. Are we going out there taking thousands of people on each flight when the president is going out, and then he's going saying, we are looking for business, we are looking for business, So now Biden doesn't go with thousands of people. Other presidents don't go with thousands of people because they're looking for business. But yet, the only thing that can actually bring people into our country is being destroyed while you're out there saying that you're clamoring for businesses. Because if the judicial system cannot save a foreigner, what are you doing? If you come to Nigeria and they defraud you and the judicial system will look the other way, how can you be motivated to come and do business in Nigeria?
That is pertinent. Secondly, that the business conducive environment is not even put. Infrastructures are not even put. PD, make it quickly. We have to go on a break. Go on.
Dr. Shagu, 1999 electoral system permits you, Massive Mike or Sir George or me, to question such things. But 2022 Electoral Act does not permit anybody except the party member. And you know the kind of party will run in Nigeria. They even lead you on oath for you not to go against whatever party agrees. Even if they agree to kill Dr. Shegu, you must agree.
Yeah.
So Nigerians have not understood what
even that
has done to Nigerian
that
government.
Constitution to me is also fraudulent because the Constitution says there are no chances for independent candidates. Only you must be in a party to contest election. Who does that?
Buhari actually destroyed Nigerians. Buhari actually destroyed Nigeria, but we don't know.
Well, we have to go on a short break. When we return, we want to see what's going on between France and Niger. It's very important. Something big is happening next to the Nigerian neighborhood. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
This country has some of the most extraordinary culinary diversity in the world. I'm talking about Nigeria. This first dish is amala abula, made popular by the Yoruba people in southwest Nigeria. It starts with amala made from dried yam and then is covered in a variety of soups. Next we have ofe nsala, a white soup that is synonymous with the Igbo people of southeastern Nigeria. It goes best with fufu, or akbo as the Igbos call it. Next we have suya, the most well-known food of the Hausa and Fulani people of northern Nigeria. Meat is covered in a peanut-based powder called yaji and cooked over an open fire. This is banga and starch, a classic of the Urhobo people of Delta State. Lastly, we have onunu, a plantain-based swallow of the Izon people in south-south Nigeria. We are eating it with fisherman soup, popular throughout this whole region. And of course, we don't forget the jollof rice. This is popular everywhere in Nigeria. I think what makes Nigeria so great is the diversity of all the different people coming together. These beautiful ethnic groups living side by side, sharing culture and cuisine is what makes Nigeria such an amazing country to visit. Nigerians should be so proud of that cultural heritage as their
Schengen Story magazine is an African international bi-monthly magazine based in Milan, Italy, and founded in 2016. The publication focuses on personalities, fashion, style, entrepreneurship, and culture for Africans. Though articles on food, movies, fitness, music, travel, sports, technology, and books are also featured. Our lives full of best stories. A lot can happen in a month. Expand your mind, change your world. Get Schengen Story magazine's full editions. Celebrating Africans make an impact. Read better, the inside story. Your fashion magazine for a better lifestyle. Inspiring stories for you. Your monthly dose of
Thanks for staying with us. It's still the Schengen media on issues surrounding Nigeria. And we want to look at what is going on in the neighborhood, that is in Niger. France just declared that she's going to pull out of Niger Republic, and they're going to take away their troops, 1,500. But I'm scared, I'm sufficiently scared that France talking this way may harm the Niger Republic. The structure of the Niger Republic has hung on France dictating and determining what happens in the civil service, what kind of money that goes into the Niger economy, what kind of money that comes out, voting patterns in international organizations like the United Nations, even AU and ECOWAS, and they've been pulled away from their Francophone brothers and sisters to show the rest that if you do something like this to us, we're going to deal with you. Mark, let me start from you. Are you sufficiently scared that France is up to something here? They want to make a scapegoat and deal with them for the others to learn a lesson from.
We're watching that, Dr. Shegun, but what we know is on Sunday evening, France President Emmanuel Macron announced it will end its military presence in Niger, pull out its ambassadors out of the country, and also they said they are going to work fully with the junta. I don't know what that means.
The junta, they call the military officials now, military leader, they call them junta. Even it's a wrong concept, but anyway, go on.
It's a wrong concept. It says it's a new step towards Niger having its sovereignty. So yes, you said some very potent thing. Does this mean something else? What is this? But we are looking at that announcement because it's a blow to France policy in Africa. Like we know, the French troops have been in Africa for some time now, but they are pulling out of all these countries, Mali, Burkina Faso recently. And we know also that France has a station, base of its troop also in the Sahara region of Africa. So, but they said they are using those bases to fight Islamic extreme groups. They've maintained a lot of troop in those parts of Africa. But now the question is this: number one question is, France has done a lot of damage to these French African countries. Pulling out its ambassadors and pulling out its troops is not enough as a solution to what the problems are. Take note that France has also been milking mineral resources milking, and not even giving back in good return what they are taking from these countries. So removing ambassador, removing the troop is not just what we want, because they still say that they are going to be cooperating with the junta. So it's dicey, Dr. Shagun. There is still a power play, a game of power in what we're saying. Yes, there's still.
Thanks, Mark, for opening it up. Sir George, Canada, you heard what France said, what Mark said. Do the French people, do they have something up their sleeves? When they pulled out of Guinea about 60-something years ago, they made sure Guinea never moved forward. Guinea became the poorest secretariat tribe. Mobutu, no, not Mobutu, the man there at that time tried everything. And we call it the tourist Guinea. I mean, Guinea never picked up in his life because France ensured that one, just to punish Guinea and to show the rest that they will do better with him. Is it the same thing they want to do with Niger Republic?
Well, they could try to do that because their line of defense for themselves staying in Guinea is because they have been the 1,500 troops. They say they are actually coming against the anti-terrorist movement in Niger Republic, and that's one of the major concerns that U.S. is actually having. That if French troops are removed from Niger, that might give increase to the terrorist movement in that area. But America is not moving away from there. America is still there. It's just almost like, when you come to Nigeria today, if you have American troops or some of these other troops, most of the places where they are usually where the minerals are. That's where you see their presence more because they are gaining from it. So now we know that what is happening in Nigeria itself is part of this whole entire saga that is going on, because there are places where normal people don't go to, but you will see American presence there, and you will see some other military presence in those areas. And sometimes they use some of these terrorist organizations to guard those places. And that's why we believe that some of the people in the government know exactly what Boko Haram is doing because it's government sponsored. So, I understand the fact that Guinea, after many years in the past, we're not able to move forward. The question is it because of the absence of French people, or is it because of the corrupt system in that country? Are they blocking them and they couldn't make any association with any other superpower to bring them back into the whole? Because you can negotiate with other interested countries that can actually bring you in and put you back to where you belong to.
Actually, Secretariat tried that. He went to the Soviet Union, he went to China, so he became like that kind of only child. At a time, there was these two blocks fighting one another, and so Secretariat was the only one in West Africa that was communism at that time, so it never worked for Guinea.
Well, maybe that's the reason, because Europe and North America, they are completely against communism. So if that is the case, it might be the case of Cuba.
Yes, exactly. Yes, and we are seeing that scenario going to play again. Bidi, in the meantime, the Association of Mali, of Burkina Faso, and Niger, they have formed a defense pact. That is, they are ready to support one another. You attack one of us, you are attacking the rest of us. Bidi, you think this will solve the problem of the Francophone states? Number one, it has weakened ECOWAS, whether ECOWAS wants to take it or not, accept it or not, because they have 5 nations that have been expelled, and now they are forming their own defense pact. Is Africa not being further weakened by this kind of scenario?
Of course, it's actually what ECOWAS and AU started. Because if ECOWAS and AU were stronger, as they expected to be in Africa, if they were representing Africans well, this new development will not be coming up. You know, it's a normal thing when the person you expect to defend you or protect you is not protecting you. It's natural with human being. You will do everything to protect yourself. That is exactly what Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger is doing. And if you look at the history, you find out that these countries have had one thing with France. They are what they will call anti-France. So they understand France very well. And like you could give example of Niger, they understand France very well, and they know, like Macron said that they are pulling out. You remember earlier they said that these junta are illegal, that they will not listen to them. But from the way things had turned out now, they now understand that these people I'm calling illegal are not actually illegal because they are being welcomed by their people and other African countries. So what he's trying to do now is to still work with them because of what France stands to benefit from Niger. Do you understand? That's what he's trying to do. He removed his ambassador, he removes his troop, but he's still working with them. He said he's working with them. He's not working with them because of the interest of the Niger. He's working
Bidi, wait a minute. Where does it leave ECOWAS that has expelled Niger Republic, that will not recognize the government in Niger Republic? Now, France is recognizing the government in Niger Republic and will cooperate with you. Where does that leave ECOWAS now?
Where it leaves them is to show them that they've made a mess of themselves. That's where it leaves them. They've made a mess of themselves. And if they can think and reason very well, they should be able to come back and take their position. But you understand? But unfortunately, they won't. Do you understand? So that's what Macron is. Macron is just trying to be smart. Yes, let me walk along with these people because France depends on them.
Milk them. George, the last. I want you to have the last say on this matter so that we can go on to other matters. Will this teach Tinubu a lesson on foreign policy? That he gave a 7-day ultimatum to these Nigerian new military leaders, and now the whole world turned against Tinubu and his ECOWAS, and they've started accepting. Is that a new? Is it? Will it teach him one lesson in foreign policy initiatives?
You see, you can be an oligarchy in. You can be one-man squad in Nigeria. And when you start dealing with international communities, you better think and you better take your time to study the situation before you start mouthing off. That's exactly what he needs to learn. Number one, international diplomacy is quite different from dealing with Nigerians, where you can suppress them and mandate certain situations upon them. So now, all of a sudden, he's looking like a serious political joke. When you think about from the very beginning, from the onset up until today, on the stage where he was being inaugurated, he just said he didn't think, he did not consult. All he said is oil subsidy is gone. But he's, right now, that particular statement is still choking him. Because they're investigating to find out whether they are still paying subsidy to keep the gas, the fuel prices down. Because for some reason, they must be paying some money somewhere. So anyway, I think it's supposed to teach him a good lesson that when it comes to dealing with other countries and international community, it's not about I am the president of ECOWAS or the leader of ECOWAS. You have to think and consult with others before you start talking nonsense.
Yeah, I think we have to. I think thank you very much for that advice. They always talk before they think in this new government of Tinubu, and we are saying that strongly. They should desist from that because it gives us a very bad image outside. Well, we'll move on. There's a new sheriff in town at the Central Bank of Nigeria. His name is Olayemi Cardoso. He's been around for a while, but more importantly is that he's been a Tinubu man for many, many years. Many are not sure whether he can handle the case of the Nigerian economy. But the Central Bank of Nigeria's governor always asks, more importantly, more than the governor. He gives out money, he doles out money. I don't know whether that is supported by a constitution, but he should be seen as the one curtailing inflation, making sure there's a drive in the economy, and giving an enabling environment for business. But Olayemi Cardoso, I don't know much about his professionalism, but he's the new governor of the central bank. He has been presented by Tinubu to the Senate. Senate has approved, and Tinubu has accepted that he should go on and do the work. How enormous is his job, Sir George?
The job is huge. When the governor of central bank in the United States speaks, the whole entire business world, they bow. And everything shuts down until they make their statement. And if there is any release whatsoever, any type of information out there in the public about what he's about to say, it will control the climate and the atmosphere of business, not only in America, but around the world. Now, when it comes to, and this is exactly one of the major problems, these appointees are supposed to be independent. They're supposed to stand on their own feet and think. Because the main point is, how do we position ourselves financially, internationally, our financial standard around the world, inflation, and the strength of our dollars. How do we put it together so that we can stand, around the world and become a viable force to be reckoned with? So we see what happened with Emefiele, who is still languishing in jail. Has he been released?
No, not to our knowledge.
Okay. So this is exactly what you see in Nigeria today. So why are they holding this man?
We don't know. He was charged with flimsy excuse.
You see, this is exactly the whole entire corrupt system we're dealing with. The court system is saying that he ought to be released. They are violating his constitutional right to be bailed out. Even if he's bailed out, they can put him on a house arrest, but they are holding him by DSS.
Okay. So, Mark, the job of the governor of Central Bank of Nigeria has been a dangerous job in the last two positions. The last two governors have been humiliated out. I'm talking of Sanusi Lamido Sanusi. He was humiliated by the Jonathan administration. He was pushed out. Emefiele has been pushed out and jailed before the court's decision has been made. Is this not a dangerous job for anybody to take?
Dangerous indeed. Dangerous indeed. You said it so well, Dr. Shegun. The last two men there had it very tough. But one thing we should also put into mind is that, like Dr. Sir George said, that should be an independent organization. That shouldn't be a place where some people will put their mouth, add something, add this to it. What we've had is that those two people, like you said, at a point became partisan, and that was their downfall. Emefiele was even, like we heard, was trying to run for presidency, and that was really, really crazy. That wasn't accepted. I mean, you can't be the central bank chief and you're trying to go into that political office. And Emefiele was affiliated to a political party. That was also a pitfall for him. So we've had all these situations, but we know now that a new man is there. You just said it, Olayemi Cardoso. Bola Tinubu says he's his man. He was grilled in the House on Tuesday. And he comes also with, listen to this, I know you know, he comes also with about 6 vice deputy governors, 6 of them. Bala Bello, something Philip Ekwazor, Abdullahi something, and Mohammed, and all of them. So you have an organization that is run in Nigeria more affiliated with a political party.
And that's exactly my question to Bidi. Bidi, we were told by Sanusi Lamido that the Jonathan administration mismanaged billions of dollars, and that led to his downfall. This Cardoso man who had worked with Tinubu, who had been known as a Tinubu's man, who is not ashamed to be affiliated with Tinubu, whom Tinubu has found to be the beloved person who can run. Will he be able to expose what is going on with our fiscal policy if Tinubu's family are fiddling with the money of Nigeria? Is he in a position to tell the rest of the world?
Nope.
Of course, he will not now. How will he do that? Do you know how far he has come with Tinubu? He was a commissioner when Tinubu was governor. He was the chairman of Citibank. You know the affiliation with Citibank and Tinubu. Do you understand? They've come a long way.
No, I don't know. Our viewers may not know. What's the affiliation?
So that's it. Now, from what Sir George said, normally, Governor of Central Bank is not supposed to be getting into trouble the way they've been getting. Look at Sanusi, look at MFLA. If the Central Bank has been run the way it's supposed to be run, if Nigerian government has been obeying the rule of law, you remember when MFLA was still the governor of CBN, he was invited to the court 2 different times. He did not. He ignored them. He did not. In the second time, he was asked, and he said that his principal, which is Buhari, said that he should not attend to that call. Now, like Sir just said, all this central bank is supposed to be independent. If they observe that independency and obey the rule of law, they certainly will not be getting into this trouble they are getting into. But because of the kind of government you run in Nigeria now, is government of loyalties, loyalty to somebody who appoints you, loyalty to the presidency, certainly they will keep getting into trouble. Cardoso will get into trouble as long as Tinubu is the president of Nigeria. He will get into a lot of mess. He will mess a lot of things. And the only person who might reveal it is the next president to come, if he's not an APC president. But if he's an APC president, he will not be revealed, and Nigerians will keep suffering it.
Well, yes, Sir George.
Let me say this. Because sometimes, when things are happening, we don't go to look at the, behind the scenes. Why is Emefiele still being held? Emefiele was nothing but a political prostitute that was used to do a lot of bad things.
Yes, including the color,
which if he opens his mouth and releases it, and that's why they are silencing him. Because if Emefiele comes out and start talking about the things he did for these people, believe me, it will not be pleasant in the ears of the Nigerians. So, and that is one of the major problems. They use you, and when you are on the other side, they will just want to silence you permanently. So that's exactly what I believe that is going on. They're not holding him.
Trying him may expose so many things that we may not need to hear. That's
why they're still holding him there.
And I think they will make him understand that if we release you, we are going to release you. If we release you, you must keep silent. I think that is the challenge. Yes, Bidi.
See, why Emefiele they are still holding Emefiele is still what I told you. If the next president that will take over from Tinubu will be APC, we will not know anything. Now, why Emefiele is there is because the person that actually did this evil is President Buhari, and nobody wants to mention him because he's an APC person. Nobody wants to mention him. You remember during the cash crumbs, the courts ruled, and Buhari came up and said a different thing. Do you understand? Now they're holding you know why they're holding Emefiele? Because Emefiele worked against Tinubu. It's a personal vendetta. Emefiele is still there. It's personal vendetta between Tinubu.
So we should expect him in jail for a while, even though the judge, the court has not said so. Lastly, Naira is floating down the drain. I'm not happy, even though my £1 could give me 1,250 naira right now. I am not happy.
Naira is flowing down the drain, and it started flowing when Tinubu was at the NASDAQ, the Wall Street, and rang the bell. Bam! So what was it?
Why would it flow? We don't produce anything. Companies are leaving Nigeria on a daily basis. We don't produce anything. It will still go up.
They rang the bell.
George,
Naira fell.
By the way, before we leave, I want to say a special shout out to Global Women Ambassador of Canada, She was actually she was the former president of Nigerian Canadian Association. She's watching us here. So kudos to you, my sister.
Salute.
I was her vice, during our tenure here in Canada. And I want to say, wonderful job with the Global Women Ambassador.
Salute, madam, and we will invite you one of these days.
Yes,
we have to close. We just have to close. We love you all in Canada.
She's called Lady K. Lady K. We call her the Margaret Thatcher of Canada. That's
okay.
That's my
okay. We can invite her one of these days, but we have to close right now. God bless Nigeria. God bless you. We'll meet on Friday.
Let's also say that it's a holiday in Nigeria today, Wednesday, LD Malud, and we wish Nigerians a happy holiday, Wednesday holiday. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shagun.
Thank you. Bye, viewers.